Look at this. I got a sock on my camera. I lost my lens cap. I put the sock on there. I mean, it works pretty good as long as it keeps scratches and dust away. I've lost 2 lens covers now. 2. One in Yosemite, one at the beach. I think I'm putting it on right, but I guess.
Last week was a 19-hour training week. I was so busy grinding out, working, training, the business. I barely picked up the camera, but I did film one of the hardest workouts of last week. It was my first double threshold session.
We got 1 kilometer repeats this morning. It's actually not too hot on this early summer morning. It's about 6 a.m. We're gonna do a couple of these repeats, make sure we're capping our heart rate right below 174. Make sure it's a controlled intensity. Excited to get the work in today, feeling good. Been doing a lot of mobility work, so we're excited to see how our body reacts to the stimulus today. Let's get going. We're about halfway there. 3 more to go. Keeping it controlled and sustained. 174 is the max I'm gonna go in the heart rate, but so far we're averaging like 168, 170. Just finished the workout. We did 6 by 1K or 1 kilometer repeats. The goal was to keep our heart rate under 174. And let's see what my max heart rate was today. We maxed out 173. So not a single time today did we go over 174. I was probably averaging for the interval sets around 168 to 170. Kept it very controlled and sustained. The goal was to not overexert myself to where I could not complete the next workout today, and not overexert myself to where I'm burnt out for the rest of the week. We're doing enough stimulus to provide growth and adaptation to get faster every week up until race day. This is the first time in this block that we're going to do a double threshold workout. So what is a double threshold? Double threshold is running at your threshold pace, but doing it 2 times in one day. So we did a track threshold this morning, starting at 5:30 a.m. And then this afternoon, we're going to do a sweet spot interval bike threshold as our second threshold day. And the reason we're doing this is because I want to create adaptation to push my aerobic ceiling further up. So keeping the hard days hard and the easy days easy. And I'm trying this out. I've never done it before. I don't know how my body's going to react. I know a lot of the top endurance guys are doing double threshold days. So I'm excited to see how it's going to work. I'm going to be doing this up until about 4 weeks before our target race date. So we'll see how much adaptation and speed this increases in my fitness. Now it's time to go eat, do some work in the business, and recover. All right, second threshold workout of the day. Put in the work in, and I made sure to get enough carbs to refuel to make sure that I have enough energy to perform this next session here on the bike. We got sweet spots, and we got a 15-minute run off the bike afterwards. Right now we're just warming up, getting the legs ready to do these sweet spot holds. I was getting a little bit of self-doubt. Who am I to be doing double threshold workouts if I'm not at the level of the big time pro guys or your competitive age groupers, right? And I thought to myself, well, if I want to be performing like those guys, should I not be doing the work like how these top guys are doing? I'm not saying I'm as fit as them, but they're training a certain way for a reason, right? I'm obviously modifying it to my fitness level and skill level on these. But if I want a certain result, I have to put in the required amount of work, the proper amount of work, and the right amount of intensity to get the result. We got 90 grams of carbs in one bottle and 60 grams of carbs in another. I'm not going to need both bottles, but just in case, sometimes my diabetes, my blood sugar plays tricks on me.
I had a long ride and I cut the ride short. And part of me feels like I shouldn't have cut it short, and a part of me feels like I did the right thing. So I got dehydrated on the third hour, I think, of the ride. And I took in the right amount of carbs. Electrolytes were doing 1,000 milligrams per hour. I could be too short still, it could be just not enough liquid. But on that third hour, the liquid got hot. And it was hard to drink it. I felt like I wanted to gag. I was starting to get headaches. My blood sugar wasn't getting low, so it wasn't a low blood sugar thing. I was thinking I was getting dehydrated. And I don't know if it was just because I didn't drink enough water quick enough. My water was too warm. And I cut it short because I had another 40 minutes, give or take, to left in the ride. And I didn't think that the cost of fitness gains was worth the recovery that it was going to take, possibly, if I kept pushing through those 40 more minutes. And it wasn't that bad of a headache. I wasn't that dehydrated yet. But I've been severely dehydrated, and it took me out for a bit. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do there. I have no idea. I could have pushed through. Like, don't get me wrong, my legs felt fine. My fitness felt fine. It was more of a, I don't know what we call it, a physiological error or a failure. So I'm not too sure what I should have done there. But I will tell you this. I know what I'm going to do better next week's long ride. I'm going to freeze my water bottles the night before so they're more cold when I go on that ride, because it's been 100 degrees every day, and even if it's not 100 degrees when I'm riding, it's still warm out, and I want to make sure that I'm giving myself the best opportunity to not get dehydrated, give myself the best opportunity for performance. And if that means drinking a little bit colder water, my bottles are insulated, but when it's super hot outside, it doesn't matter if it's insulated or not, it's not going to stay cold. So I'm going to try to freeze them overnight, see if that helps. Maybe I need to increase my sodium intake. Maybe I just need to increase my liquid intake. But I'm going to test it out this next long ride. I'm going to trial and error, really. I don't know. Priority will be staying hydrated and keeping my core temperature lower so that I'm able to complete the ride and get the amount of stimulus needed for the long ride. This week was definitely a good training week. I definitely feel like I gained a lot of fitness gains, a lot of gains in the business and my mentality. I did 19 hours this week and my swim's getting better actually. I don't know if it's just because I'm focusing on it so much more on the mechanics and I'm seeing speed gains because my aerobic feels good in the water. I think a lot of it was just my mechanics were poor. And then, I mean, my type 1 diabetes, every week is a battle, making sure I don't get lows when I'm training or just in general. It makes things more harder in the way I train. Everything has to be near perfect to my fueling. And something that's been on my mind because I'm doing a lot right now. I'm trying to grow a marketing firm. I'm trying to grow an athletic endurance brand. I'm trying to be a high performing athlete when I have not been for the previous 10 years of my life. Trying to stay grounded in my faith, all while working a job. Sometimes it's easy to make suffering our personality. And I think that that's dangerous. I think suffering is good, especially in our society when we're living in a comfortable environment. Putting yourself through hard situations is good. Teaches you how to adapt and overcome. And I'm not talking just to you, I'm talking to me. Suffering doesn't make us better than other people who choose a different lifestyle. Just because their preferences and the way they live is different than mine doesn't make them worse or better than me. Just because I suffer more than them doesn't mean I'm somehow some more worthy human than them. And I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind because I don't want to be judged for striving for these goals, right? Like I want people to support my goals and these ginormous things I'm trying to achieve. And maybe their goals are to be the best father and being present in their family's life or being the best husband. Those are awesome goals. When I say we, I mean me. I need to keep in mind that just because their preferences are different than the way I choose to live my life doesn't mean that they're worse than me. And I think that that's something I'm trying to keep in mind for every part of my life, my business, my faith, my training, just striving for these big goals, just understanding that there is more to life than suffering. And I suffer a lot. I feel like I'm suffering all day, every day. I mean, for example, most of my mornings start at 4 a.m. in the morning and they end at 8, 9 at night, every single night. And doesn't make me better than other people. That's just a life I chose because I need to get certain inputs done to get to the goal that I want to get to. It's not even purely because I want to get up there earlier or suffer that much. It's just because that's the work that's required to get to these goals. And that's all I got for you this week. This training week was amazing. I'm feeling very blessed to be able to train this hard, to work this hard. And I say that every week, but I don't know if my attitude is just changing in the way I view training. I think sometimes in the past I've had a poor attitude and I'm really focusing on having a good attitude in the way I view training and the things I'm going through. And I really only have two options in life considering where I'm at. Stay in the same situation I'm at where you're not happy where you're at, or make decisions to actively get yourself out of that situation. That's all there is to it. And I appreciate you sticking around for this video and paying attention to my life. It's pretty cool. And I'd be curious to see who's even watching because I'm seeing that there's viewers watching these videos and I would like to know who is watching. Say howdy. Connect with me on the other platforms. That's where I post more of my daily updates and what I'm doing. So I'll see you in the next one.